American culture is built on a central paradox, a foundational obsession with individual freedom that fuels global dominance yet creates deep internal anxieties. Since 1835, observers have noted that the American experiment is defined by the rugged individual, a self-reliant figure charting their own destiny. This individualist manifesto asserts rights that no government can violate, fostering a unique belief in American exceptionalism. That spirit drove westward expansion and lives on today in a culture of high mobility, where people frequently change homes and jobs. It is the relentless pursuit of one's own American dream, a mentality of working hard and playing even harder. We balance two roots, the inner spiritual self-reliance of Emerson and the fierce competitive pressure of social survival. But as the 21st century unfolds, this foundational pursuit of happiness is shifting into a new, complex reality. In this series, we go beyond the surface to explore the reality behind the American myth. Following World War II, the American lifestyle underwent a radical transformation. The good citizen became synonymous with the good purchaser. In just 4 years, Americans bought 20 million refrigerators and 21 million cars. Consumption was framed as a patriotic act. This era introduced planned obsolescence, manufacturing goods to fail so they must be replaced, fueling a perpetual cycle of desire. The 1950s saw the birth of the credit card, allowing Americans to spend beyond their means and live the dream on borrowed time. Today, the average American child views 20,000 commercials a year, creating a state of constant materialist anxiety. But a backlash is growing. Driven by post-pandemic reflection, many are turning away from the treadmill of consumption. The slow lifestyle is prioritizing well-being over wealth, questioning what it truly means to be successful. As we redefine our needs, the very foundation of the American dream begins to look different. The American dream, the idea that anyone can rise through hard work, is currently facing its greatest statistical challenge in history. While many still believe in the dream, data suggests that 50% of a father's income position is inherited by his son in the U.S. Compare that to less than 20% in Canada or Norway, where the dream of upward mobility is statistically more achievable. For the first time in history, younger generations are projected to earn less than their parents did at the same age. In 1940, 90% of children out-earned their parents. For those born today, that number has plummeted to 50%. Only about 8% of children born in the bottom 20% will ever reach the top. The ladder of success is growing steeper. Satisfaction with the freedom to choose has dropped significantly, revealing a growing gap between the passion for liberty and the hope for progress. As we face these numbers, we must ask, what happens to a nation when its central promise begins to feel out of reach? The melting pot metaphor is increasingly replaced by the salad bowl, a collection of distinct cultures that remain unique while coexisting. In New York City alone, over 800 languages are spoken, creating a linguistic mosaic that defines the modern American experience. Researchers identify at least 11 distinct cultural nations within the U.S., each with vastly different views on government and rights. From the industrial North to the rural South and the vibrant Southwest, these regions represent deeply rooted, often conflicting identities. While 70% identify as Christian, the unaffiliated are growing, fostering an environment where religious freedom is fiercely defended. The First Amendment is not just a law, it's a tool for personal autonomy, allowing every individual to chart their own spiritual path. This mosaic of identity is a story of perpetual becoming, where the parts are as vital as the whole. In our next part, we'll examine the contemporary struggles that challenge this diverse union. As we enter 2026, Americans report the lowest levels of financial health in 15 years. The pursuit of happiness is increasingly clouded by debt. Only 13% feel on track for the retirement they desire, and half of all adults list money as their primary source of stress. The health gap is stark. Life expectancy can vary by up to 20 years depending solely on the zip code you call home. While many strive for physical wellness, 44% cite the overwhelming cost of healthcare as a major barrier to staying healthy. 74% of Americans worry about losing their fundamental freedoms, yet knowledge of our origins is fading. Over half of those under 30 cannot name the authors of our founding documents, a gap between the passion for liberty and the knowledge of its roots. This climate of institutional fear and financial stress is reshaping the American psyche in real time. As we navigate these struggles, we look toward the shifting reality of the American lifestyle. The American work ethic is rooted in 17th century Puritan values, where diligent labor was seen as a moral imperative and a sign of character. This evolved into the work hard, play hard mandate, a corporate culture that equates high-octane productivity with high adrenaline reward. Americans work significantly more than their global counterparts, clocking nearly 400 more hours per year than workers in Germany. Yet, vacation deprivation is at an 11-year high. Over half of the workforce leaves paid time off unused, too busy to even plan an escape. By 2026, we see the rise of quiet burnout, an internalized exhaustion where employees feel trapped in roles they no longer love. A shift is occurring. Gen Z is prioritizing peace over promotions, valuing mental well-being more than the traditional ladder of financial growth. With the stability of the full-time job in question, 71% of workers now rely on side hustles just to stay afloat. The American identity is in a tug-of-war between an inherited grind and the biological necessity of sustainability. The American landscape is defined by a widening divide that transcends geography, evolving into a fundamental rift in identity and reality. By mid-2026, our population reached nearly 350 million. While most live in cities, the middle ground is shifting. A rural rebound is underway, driven by a search for affordability and a surprising trend of younger generations returning to the land. The economic chasm remains. Urban wages outpace rural ones by 20%, yet rural residents boast higher rates of outright home ownership. The remote work revolution has decoupled career from location, allowing a quarter of the workforce to prioritize quality of life over the daily commute. Politics has followed density. In recent elections, 93% of all rural counties leaned one way, while urban cores remained the other. It's no longer just about policy, but about perceived identity, a sense of resentment versus institutional disregard. As the suburbs become the new battleground, the continuum of American life continues to redefine itself. American culture has long been the world's innovation engine, fueled by a belief that technology is the ultimate tool for progress and freedom. By 2026, AI was promised as a liberator, a way to automate the mundane and free the human spirit for higher pursuits. Yet many report an efficiency paradox. Instead of reducing hours, AI is often used to double workloads, leading to even deeper levels of stress. Technology has become the ultimate status symbol, a digital layer of the American dream that defines who is connected and who is left behind. Despite massive investments, a digital chasm persists. Rural areas continue to lag in broadband, limiting their role in the new digital economy. We are a nation governed by algorithms, where the line between personal choice and curated reality is increasingly blurred. This is the new frontier, a world where the speed of innovation often outpaces our ability to find balance. As we accelerate into the future, we must define the price of our progress. Beyond the digital noise, the American social fabric is being rewoven through local infrastructure, the community centers and gardens where resilience is built. By 2026, over 300 resilience hubs have emerged across the nation, permanent anchors coordinating resources before, during, and after a crisis. Public libraries have solidified their role as second responders, the backbone of social infrastructure, providing a physical repository for information when networks fail. Resilience is now data-driven. Granular estimates allow emergency managers to prioritize action in real time, mapping vulnerability down to the single census tract. The economic logic is clear. Every dollar invested in disaster preparation saves 13 in recovery costs, preventing the loss of tens of thousands of jobs. From record hurricanes to wildfires, these local institutions are being tested, proving that national resilience begins at the neighborhood level. Even our parks are evolving, serving as equitable buffers against the elements and keeping our diverse communities connected to nature. In our final part, we bring it all together, the American story of perpetual becoming. We arrive at the heart of the American story, not as a finished product, but as a nation in a state of perpetual becoming. From the foundational obsession with liberty to the complexities of the modern chase, the dream is being rewritten by every generation. The mosaic of our identity, from the bustling urban cores to the resilient rural heartlands, forms a union that is as fragile as it is fierce. We navigate the paradoxes of productivity and the chasms of wealth, seeking a new sustainability in an age of algorithmic acceleration. Our institutions are evolving, shifting from reactive responders to the permanent anchors of our shared resilience. The road ahead is unpaved, a continuum of hope and reality that stretches across the vast landscape of our collective ambition. In the end, American culture is defined not by where we have been, but by the relentless courage to ask, who will we become next? The journey continues, a story without a final chapter, written in the daily lives of 350 million rugged individuals.